What's up, G Show land, and welcome to another episode of the G Show podcast. I am G1, and this is the Geek Out, episode 20. Got a couple of things to talk about today. Couple things happened last week that we didn't get to, and of course, a couple of things that dropped this week. We'll get into that right after I introduce you to my panelists joining me. As always, we're going to start with you, my man C. Monty, because, you know, Matt's always at a loss for words. What's up, my brother?
Not much. I'm a little lost for words today myself. Kind of tired.
Jesus Christ. All right, Matt, let's see if you can save the day. Matt, joining us once again, G95 right hand on the G Show. What's up, my brother?
Prepare to be disappointed.
Prepare to be disappointed indeed, because we're going to start the show off with something that dropped last week. We didn't get it in the notes for last week. We're going to talk about it this week, and that is John Cena joining the Bumblebee movie, the Transformers spinoff that nobody asked for. Oh, man. Now, listen, man, being a wrestling head like myself, I am not a John Cena fan, but I will say this. I respect the dude's comedic timing. Yesterday, I saw some outtakes and bloopers with him and Amy Schumer from a movie they did together, and I couldn't stop laughing. If there's one thing the dude is, he has a charisma. He doesn't have a Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson style charisma, but John Cena has a charisma. Outside of wrestling, I could dig the dude, but inside the squared circle, I just like, Cena sucks. But him joining, this is kind of big because, you know, he is sort of a megastar. People know who he is because of wrestling. And unlike The Rock, who's a freaking megastar right now, one of the most popular people in the entire planet, The Rock started out when he did his movie stuff in a relatively smaller role. Yeah, he was in the Scorpion King, but was the Mummy franchise as big as what Transformers is today? And his role was very limited. Whereas this is John Cena's starring role. So I want to ask you guys, I'm going to start with you, Matt, because I know you just love wrestling. John Cena and Bumblebee, is this a good match?
I don't know. I have no feelings towards this movie whatsoever. But all I can really say is that now I guess the Autobots won't be the only ones in disguise.
Was that a "you can't see me" joke?
Yeah, that was.
Oh my God. See, I'm not disappointed. All right, Chris, throwing it over to you. I know you absolutely love wrestling. You've said it numerous times on this podcast. What are your thoughts on seeing your favorite wrestler, John Cena, with your favorite Autobot, Bumblebee?
I don't care. I mean, we all know from previous statements I made on this podcast, I have no love for this franchise. Not interested in seeing this at all. It'd be kind of awkward to watch a CGI character playing against a blank screen for 2 hours. Yeah, I had to make my own "you can't see me" joke as well. But yeah, like I don't care. I really don't. It's whatever. Who gives a shit?
Ah, look, you guys are terrible, man. Y'all should really, really, really pay attention to Transformers 5 and just see how good it is. I'm lying. Well,
I was literally crying watching it.
That was a bad movie. Yeah, no, it really was bad.
Stop me.
But here's the thing. Yeah, I know. Here's the thing, though. This is not Michael Bay doing it. Yeah, he's producing, but his fingerprints ain't going to be on this movie. I personally don't like the story beats already, the plot they're outlining. I didn't like what they did with Bumblebee and Transformers 5. I thought it was stupid. But it could be more entertaining than any of the previous Transformers we've gotten since, regardless if you can't see John Cena or not. And that's just because...
It's not a high benchmark.
It's not a what? A hybrid car?
It's not a high benchmark, though.
Oh, high benchmark. No, it's not. It's not, but it will definitely get people into seats. Because here's the thing. You've got Bumblebee, which is absolutely a fan favorite for the franchise, especially amongst young children. Then you got John Cena, who's absolutely a fan favorite, especially amongst young children. To me, that's a win-win situation for Paramount and this franchise. Where you think I'm off a bit there, Chris?
I mean, it could be, but like the question is, should it be? Or should this franchise be allowed to die?
Yeah. Matt, your thoughts on that?
I don't know. Like, as much as I like Transformers, I think there's always going to be, like, the internal optimist in me is like, oh, there's always going to be room to make it better, because that's what I say about every single shitty movie series or whatever. I said about it at Alien Covenant and Suicide Squad and the DCEU and, yeah, all these just bad movies. But I don't really think there's much saving the Transformers franchise.
All right, well, we got two Debbie Downers here, little Decepticons, robots in disguise over here. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't mad at the casting choice, but I'm not going to see this movie at all. But the girl from what's that, Edge of 17? Wasn't that the movie that came out recently?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying. She's 21, I think. She's old enough for you, Chris. But yeah, all right. So I guess it's a no-go here on the panel with John Cena and Bumblebee Tuna. Not good. Not good. We ain't going to see it. Just like that. All right. Next topic, because that was short and sweet to the point. I'm going to get in on this one a little bit. There was reports last week or this past week coming out that Riz Ahmed could be joining the Venom movie playing Carnage. That's real interesting. First of all, I really like Riz Ahmed in Star Wars Rogue One. Bodhi was my favorite character, even though he had like really nothing to do. I just love these little tics and mannerisms. And to see this dude, I've never seen him in anything else because I don't follow him. So I just judge him and going by Star Wars Rogue One. To see him playing Carnage against Tom Hardy's Venom, it's like a completely different, depending on how he plays this role, if he brings those little tics and mannerisms in, I would love to see how they play off of each other. And I'm sure his name is not going to be Cletus Cassidy. I mean, let's be for real here. Chris, do you think fanboys are going to be butthurt by the idea of them casting Riz Ahmed in the role of Carnage? Or you think they're going to be like, all right, we're past all the bullshit? That sounds like a good idea.
I mean, I feel like Cletus Cassidy in himself isn't a big enough character for them to really care that much. Carnage is a huge character, but would they distinguish between him and the symbiote version of himself? That might be an interesting thing to see play out. I think there's probably going to be a little bit of backlash just because so many nerds on the internet are like, let's just call it what it is. They're racist. They don't want to see any of their white comic book characters played by people of color.
Right.
They can hide it as whatever they want. They go, oh, it's tradition or whatever like that. Let's be real. You don't want to see non-white people in these roles. Aside from that, I think it's an interesting choice. I think that Riz Ahmed had a certain level of darkness to him in the Night of, the HBO miniseries that he did.
Oh, I got to see that, man.
There was enough something there to make it seem like he might be able to pull off a good Carnage. But ultimately, just, I said before, like I have been on the panel before, I'm dead set against this movie. Just because I want them to do Venom the right way. I want them to introduce it through Spider-Man, through the MCU. He goes out and does the Infinity War thing and comes back from space fighting Thanos with the symbiote suit, and then we can go from there. I think it's a bad idea for Sony to just do this movie solo off the bat, try to build their own, you trying to build your own universe is what got you into this mess, Sony, so just chill out. But, if the trailers come out and I see something I like, I'll give it a fair shot. I think Riz Ahmed, I'm not opposed to him playing Carnage. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I think it's a terrible idea. I just think the movie in itself is a bad idea.
Right.
But I think he could do something interesting with the role. That personal hang-ups about the movie itself aside.
All right, Matt, what about you? You like Riz Ahmed?
I've only seen him in Rogue One, so I really can't speak to whether or not he can play like a darker character like Cletus Cassidy, but I mean, I'm sure he could pull it off. I have every bit of faith that he has the diversity to be able to do it. Because he played somebody who was apparently crazy for all of 45 seconds in Rogue One, and then he was just back to a normal kind of wacky sort of character.
Right.
He was supposed to be he was supposed to have lost his mind from Fort Gullet, and then 4 scenes later, it's just normal dude again. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I do agree with Chris on the whole racist thing. There's going to be backlash because he's not white, and they could just say oh, this is a different Carnage, this is a different dude, this is a different world. Even if the character's not big enough, people are still going to be pissed because it's a character that was white that's not white anymore. And yeah, especially, I don't know, there's going to be backlash no matter what, so that's going to be always enjoyable to see.
No, I totally agree with both of y'all. Racism, they're going to come out, they're going to say shit. I honestly, I'm with you, Chris. There's no reason to have this Venom movie. They need to do it the right way, and you have a lot of, people talking about, well, you give it a shot, you never know, as long as the movie's good. And it's yeah, I hate that you don't read comic books. That's my whole thing. You get those people. You get the movie people who don't know the character or the genesis of the character. The genesis of that character only works with Spider-Man. It really does, because it falls in love with Spider-Man and Spider-Man rejects it. That is the crux of the symbiote. And when it gets on Eddie Brock and sees Eddie Brock kind of don't like Peter Parker, oh, guess what, Eddie Brock? Peter Parker, Spider-Man. I hate Spider-Man. You hate Peter Parker. Boom. Match made in heaven. We get the great Venom. So I'm right with you, Chris. I don't like the idea of them doing this movie without utilizing Spider-Man. I really, like you said, you tried this already with the shared universe and it didn't work. You got in trouble with this in the first place. Have you not learned your lesson? Just because Civil War was great and Spider-Man in his 10 minutes was great in it and Homecoming was great, you're like, let's all put it back on the table again. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. You need to start working with Marvel and say, hey, listen, we don't want to intrude on what you're doing in your universe, but we need to set something up within your universe so we could take it from there. And I don't see Marvel being like, no. Why not? Hell, yeah, let's use Venom sometime down the line to have an appearance. That would be great if, whatever the Phase 6 big bad thing is, and there's Venom in the midst as one of those characters, that would be great. But if Sony's going to do it on their own, off to the side, we can't get that, comic book goodness. So, yeah, I'm with you guys. I like Riz Ahmed. I can't lie. I would like to see him as Carnage. I really would. I would like to see what he does with the character. But
I also read a fan theory. I also decided to cut you off, Red, but I also read a fan theory because none of the Carnage stuff is really confirmed yet. We had a fan theory that the Venom movie might take place slightly ahead in the timeline, and that Riz Ahmed's character is like a grown-up Flash Thompson, since Tony Reveler, or whatever his name is, was Flash, like he's an Indian kid as Flash in Homecoming.
Right.
That would be interesting to see. That
would actually, because Flash Thompson was, Venom in the comics. We spoke about this a couple podcasts ago. So yeah, that would be interesting. That would be very interesting. It's just then, how do you show Spider-Man? Yeah, because Tom Holland he should look like Tobey Maguire at that point. I'm just saying. But all right, well that's that.
Week or so, Mark Webb, the dude who directed the Amazing Spider-Man movies,
right,
said in an interview, he talked a little bit in an interview about Sony's plans for Sinister Six back when that was still a thing, and he talked a little bit about what the plot was, and he said Norman Osborn would be the big bad villain of the movie, or he'd be the one to organize the Sinister Six, even though he died in Amazing Spider-Man 2, and he's the big reveal is going to be that Oscorp froze his head, It's like, oh, come on. Like, all right. I don't think Sony, like that's something out of, like, a 60s cartoon. Like, I would totally see that in an episode of, like, Super Friends.
If those are the ideas that Sony was greenlighting, they really need to just let Marvel make the creative decisions and they could reap all the money from it.
Seriously.
That's what this deal really should have been. That's what this deal was supposed to be. That's what it was pitched as, and that's what Sony should let it be. It's like, Marvel said, we'll produce the movies. Sony or whatever like that, since they own the rights to the character, they can produce the solo movies and keep the revenue off that and everything like that. But they should really be letting Marvel make the creative decisions. If you're gonna let Spider-Man be in the MCU, let Marvel build off that and everything like that, and then just collect your check at the end of the day. Stop trying to have your own ideas. Like, some people just don't have good ideas.
And the problem Sony has, that this is where Fox actually does a little bit better in this department, is Fox actually uses the source material when they make their X-Men movies. Granted, I didn't like Days of Futures Past. People love that movie. I hated it. Age of Apocalypse, even though it wasn't the comic book, it's loosely, there's Apocalypse, and there's some of his, horsemen or whatever you want to call them. But
I'll disagree with that. That was not Apocalypse.
That really wasn't Apocalypse.
Called himself Apocalypse. That was not Apocalypse.
You're right. That was Ivan News. You're absolutely right. But what to my point is they have the characters down more than Sony would have done it. Seriously, Norman Osborn's cryogenically frozen head. You know when that worked? In Batman Beyond for Dr. Freeze. That's when it worked. But that's, again, an animated cartoon. You could make it work. So yeah, Sony, come on, man. Sony, look, if you're going to do crazy things like that and casting Tom Holland as Nathan Drake, you might as well go ahead and cast Jason Momoa as Kratos. You hear me? Sony? You better do that. So, Chris brought this to my attention just a little while ago. Jason Momoa said he'd be down to play Kratos in a God of War movie. Time out. I fucking love God of War. It is one of my favorite video game franchises. It is the perfect hack and slash I've ever played. And the best part about it is, 4 or 5 games later, they never changed the controllers. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Oh, I fucking love it. Kratos is one of my favorite characters, video game-wise, of all time. He's just anger incarnate. And I love his voice, and I love everything about him. And I'm just like, get him, Kratos. Kick some motherfucking ass. And I've been on this podcast, gone on record of saying, Jason Momoa is like a damn man crush for me. I love this dude. Like, I love him. And I can't wait to see him what he does in Justice League as Aquaman. And I can't wait to see Aquaman. And if he wants to play Kratos, the only thing I worry about, to be honest with you, is him losing those lovely locks. Because he's got really nice hair, and I'm a little jealous. But outside of that, I'm probably the only one on this. They could. You're absolutely right. Now, I'm probably the only one on this panel who actually liked his Conan movie. But yeah, I'm a sucker for Jason Momoa. And I dug that Conan movie. So I'm down. If this is real, if they really are doing a God of War movie, if Sony is saying, all right, we're going to do this over here too because we're trying to set up Uncharted. Let's set up a whole video game thing. And Jason Momoa is down to play this. I'm totally fucking with this. So I'm going to jump to you, Matt. What do you think of this?
I really don't care. I don't play God of War.
I'm going to choke you, Matt. I'm going to grab you. I'm going to choke you. You're too tall, so I'm going to have to get on a chair and then come down with an elbow.
I don't know, like, video game movies are never good. Ever.
Mortal Kombat.
Like, I'm a diehard fan of the Doom movie. Love that movie, but it's not a good adaptation. It's not a great film. But yeah, like, there's Super Mario Brothers, another. Like, let's be honest, video game movies tend to suck. So I don't know. I don't think it'd be good.
Wow,
but then again, I never played the game, and yeah. Sorry.
I think if you were to play these games, I think you'd shave your head, you grow out a freaking goatee, and you go crazy. You start screaming like Zeus. Honestly, I think that by playing that game, if you have any pent up aggression inside of you, it would all come tumbling out, and you You'd be a better man for it, goddammit, and you would like this idea. Chris, what about you?
Well, I'm going to start by saying, I'm going to say that there's no such thing as a good video game movie. Somebody clearly hasn't seen Street Fighter with Jean-Claude Van Damme. That aside.
Oh,
I mean, Raul Julia was the best bison you were ever going to get.
I'm going to choke you too. So you're both getting choked. Oh, man.
That aside. I mean, I've said before, and I make no qualms about it or anything like that, I'm not a gamer. Gaming has never been my forte. I've never had the patience for video games. Like, I'm the type of dude, like I'm facing a boss stage and I lose 2 or 3 times. I turn the game off and that's it. Like, I'm done. But I, like you, Ray, I will watch anything with Jason Momoa slashing people up for 2 hours. Gonna jump in when you made the comment how, like, you're the only one on the panel who likes his Conan movie. I can't say I like or didn't like it because I've never actually seen it, but I'm willing to bet if I sat down and watched it, I would love it because I would watch Jason Momoa charge people with a sword any day of the week. I loved him on I'm drawing a blank on the name of it, that show he has on Netflix where he's a fur trapper.
Oh,
he's
yes.
just going after people all day.
Yeah.
I loved him as Khal Drogo on Game of Thrones. I will watch the same thing as you. I have a huge man crush on the dude. I will watch him do anything because the dude is just like that awesome machismo without being like overly macho, like where it's like, that what people call toxic masculinity. He's just a cool bro. He's just a cool bro. Likes to do cool shit. He likes to throw axes. He likes to drink. He likes to look at pretty chicks. Like, he's my spirit animal. So
yeah.
So yeah, I'm absolutely, again, even though I'm not really that familiar with the source material and I've never really played the game or anything like that, I will absolutely watch Jason Momoa kill gods as Kratos any day of the week.
Damn it! Listen, seriously, y'all don't have to play the game, man. Just go on YouTube and look at God of War gameplay, or the cinematics.
No, I've seen Peter play it, and it looks like a cool game. It's just I understand the gist of it, like. His family got killed and he blamed the gods. And I might be a little bit off.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm totally down to watch Jason Momoa just hit people with swords all day.
If they were to make this God of War movie and Jason Momoa was in it, I honestly believe they're going to get this right. It's not going to be like a Michael Fassbender in Assassin's Creed, which... according to people who've seen it, because I just refuse to see it. I'm not even a fan of that particular franchise. They said that the majority of the time is not even spent in the assassin world. And that's kind of like, you're taking away what makes the game fun. I've played it, but like, really? You're going to just sit around in the, Amibus or whatever the hell it's called? No, it's not good. And
I did watch the movie one day. I would say it's roughly equal time. There might be a little bit more time spent in the real world, but it's rather there's enough of like the inside the assassin world action to keep. And again, this is coming from someone who doesn't play video games, not familiar. So if I was a little more into the franchise as a game, I probably would. But I actually wound up enjoying that movie more than I thought I would, based on some of the reviews that were coming out.
Nah, I hear you. Oh well.
But that's a novice opinion,
I hear you. Aside from Mortal Kombat, we all know that Alyssa Milano in Double Dragon is the shit. So, we're jumping on out of that. And the last bit of casting news, and this one is this is my favorite one. This right here, this is my favorite one. And that is Karl Urban talking about he's open to the idea of reprising his role as Dredd in Mega City 1. We spoke about this when we found out about Mega City 1, how we said, how awesome would it be if Karl Urban would come back? He's not a stranger to television. This dude is like in everything. He can vanish into roles. I really like Karl Urban as an actor. But this right here, my favorite Karl Urban thing is Bones. Dr. McCoy in the Star Trek movies. I love his Bones. I love his DeForest Kelley impersonation. I love it. But damn it, when I saw Dredd, that movie wrecked me. And Karl Urban was one of the reasons he was in the zone, in the character. And if he's open to the idea of coming back to play that character in Mega City 1, do you pull the trigger on that, Chris?
When I saw that news, and I read that article, I had to change my shorts 3 separate times. No, I'm super excited about. Like, at this point, if you're gonna move forward with Mega City 1, and Karl Urban said he'll do it, and you don't get Karl Urban, I'm not watching the show.
Oh, I agree.
It's just it's that much of, like, to me, like, it's that important. Like, if he said, nah, I'm not gonna come back, like, I'm not interested in it, and you went forward with the show and you got somebody new, I'll give it a shot. But if it's a possibility, if there's a chance and you don't take it, fuck you, I don't want to watch the show. Like, he, again, coming from someone who never really got into the books, I never watched a Stallone movie or anything like that, the Dredd movie with Karl Urban is my experience of Dredd. Like, that's who the character is to me. And it is one of those things where it's serious enough, like, that's the only way I want to see the character. Because he did such a good job and everything like that. Like, he made the character for me. So if there's a chance that he could bring it back and do the same thing and play that character, like, then yeah, do it. Do it or I'm not watching. And I know a studio's not going to make its decision based on, like, one person's opinion, but, like, just do it. If he's down for it, if he'll agree to it, just do it.
Yeah, totally.
There's no reason not to.
Matt, you pulled the trigger?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like, I heard the whole he was in talks thing, or that he said he wanted to do it, like, weeks ago. But what, like, the news that came out, like, last week was that a producer on the show was saying that they were in active talks on getting him in. So, I mean, it's one thing if, like, an actor's like, oh, I want to do it. It's another thing if they're actually talking to him about it. Because, that could get somewhere. I mean, now they just, it's got to close the deal and probably, settle on money shit. But, yeah, I'd be down.
Let me ask you this, Matt. Do you think Karl Urban is the type of person to demand, like, an excess amount of money for doing this? Or you think the love of the character will be like, look, I understand, I get what I get, but I'm not going to go overboard. I want to play this character.
Well, look at some of the other movies he's made. He... like Pathfinder, that wasn't a big budget movie. Doom certainly wasn't. I mean, his biggest claim to fame is the Star Trek movies, really. Dredd was super low budget. I think he actually took a pay cut just to be in Dredd. And he obviously liked it enough to want to do more and, probably take an even bigger pay cut to do something for TV. And, it's being done by the Sci-Fi Channel, right? So I doubt they pay very much. But so yeah, it sounds like he wants to just do it for the love of the character.
Chris, what do you think about that?
Oh, see, the thing, I hadn't heard that he was in active talks. You guys gonna have that part of me because I'm about to go change my shorts again. No, yeah, I agree with Matt. Like, Karl Urban is a versatile actor and everything like that. We've seen a lot of things. But it is true that he hasn't necessarily done anything where, like, he's a big enough name to demand too much money. So I think he knows that. I think he's, obviously he's in love enough with the role to say that he's interested in doing it and sitting down at the table and talking about it and everything like that. So I don't think he's going to go through all that and say, like, oh, I'm willing to talk. And then once he gets to the table, say, oh, I want $20 million. Like, I don't think he's going to do that. He might be utilizing this as that benchmark to get to that point where he can start, get his name out there. Because people know who Karl Urban is, but he's not like a household name.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, he's not an A-lister. So he might be using this as a springboard to do a role that he obviously, really likes, if not loves, and then launch his brand or whatever. And then from there, he can go on to movies and say, like, hey, I'm fucking Dredd. You're going to pay me $10 million for this movie or $20 million for this movie and everything like that. So it'd be smart of him to take what he takes now, make it into something where it turns him into a wider name, and then that way he can use that as a bargaining chip in future negotiations for future movies and something like that. Because he's going to get notoriety from Thor Ragnarok. You know, that's going to build his hype up a little bit. But again, he's like a secondary character in that movie.
Yeah.
So it's almost like if Frank Grillo played Crossbones and then turned around right away and say, "Oh, by the way, I want $70 million to star in," like, no one cares about you, Frank Grillo. Like that kind of thing. So I think he'll play the role out, and then I don't think he's gonna make a big deal about money.
All I'm saying is Karl Urban for Batman 2021. I'm with it. All right, well, that's our casting news for today, and hopefully for the next couple weeks, because, you know, sometimes casting is good. Sometimes in John Cena's case, you just can't see it. So let's get on some...
Nice.
Let's get on with some juicy shit, and that I want to talk about is the Entertainment Weekly Star Wars coverage that dropped this week. They dropped a couple of pitches. Chewbacca with this cute little mouse seal thing in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon, which, I don't know. I'm like, really? Okay. The pitches were cool, all in all. It's something that Mark Hamill said about a plot point in the movie, or I shouldn't say a plot point, but something Luke Skywalker believed in. And this thing has kind of been weighing on my mind because I'm kind of like, wait a minute, that doesn't make any damn sense to me. Now, I want to pose this question to you guys. Do you think what I'm about to say is the writer's fault? Or do you think the writers have a better understanding and this is just Luke Skywalker, the character, just not paying attention? So what he said was Luke Skywalker thought Ben Solo was the chosen one. I'm sitting there confused because I'm like, why would Luke Skywalker think Ben Solo was the chosen one if, you know, Vader kind of did that whole thing already, brought balance to the Force in Revenge of the Sith. And even though he did kind of overthrow the balance, unless Luke saw, you know, he had a Force premonition and said, well, this kid's going to go bad, become Kylo Ren, and there's the balance. And you get one Jedi, one Sith. I don't understand this comment. So I'm stuck, and I'm like, is this a slight on the writer's part, or is this, or am I going to have to look at Luke Skywalker like he's dumb? Matt, I'm going to start with you on that. Did you get that, what I'm trying to say here? Because I'm just this confused.
I understand your conundrum,
yes,
but I think there's, like, that's one piece of a very large puzzle that we're not getting. So we're just getting this little bit, you know, there's probably much more context to that line and to whatever Luke said or believes that we're not getting yet, that we're going to have to wait till December to find out. And, I think it's a little preemptive to get worried or worked up about it. But, yeah, it's, you know, maybe in between Jedi and Force Awakens, there's a whole lot more, like, you know, like, obviously Luke started his new Jedi temple. That would throw the balance of the Force out of whack, kind of. You know, there's overwhelming amount of good and no bad. So, you know, then you gotta have, like, more dark side users, and it's about the balance. So, I mean, obviously, we don't know all that yet. We don't know the details. We don't know the you know, and plus there's a fine print to basically everything that the creators and the people behind the scenes say in interviews. You know, there's always something either behind it or something they have to word things carefully to not get in trouble or reveal anything. So there's more to it. That's all I can say.
I absolutely believe there's more to it. Like, worried, no. Worked up, yeah, I did get worked up. I can't lie. Because like I said, I was just like, wait, what? Luke Skywalker shouldn't be stupid. He shouldn't be stinking nothing like that. Especially since, you know, you figure Yoda's still probably around as a Force ghost talking to him. Maybe the idea of Obi-Wan Kenobi, what's his head? Jeez Louise, Papa Jesus. Anyway, Ewan McGregor reprising Obi-Wan's role as a Force ghost, talking to Luke. I'm sure these conversations might have popped up. And so that you know, I was like, I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. Why? And yeah, granted, the bigger picture, you'd probably show more, but it's just something like that. It's dumb to me anyway. Chris, I'm worked up over this. What are your thoughts about this?
I mean, pretty much have to echo what Matt said. There's probably more to it, you know. He's probably doing because Mark Hamill is notorious for that. He teases things to get people amped up and everything like that. So he's probably just playing around with an idea to draw people's interest. I mean, it really all comes down to what your interpretation of balance of the force is too. A lot of people look at it as an external thing, the chosen one will come and balance the dark side and the light amongst the Sith and the Jedi and all this stuff like that. But it could also be looked at as an internal thing, bringing balance to the force in a way of balancing it within yourself, where you deal with the light and the dark within yourself and find a happy medium between the two. So it's maybe Luke interprets the balance of the force in such a way, interprets the prophecy in such a way that Obi-Wan fits the bill. He could be wrong. We don't know. We won't know until we see the movie and see what exactly the fuck Mark Hamill is talking about when he says that. So I don't think it's something to be worked up about. I think you just got to kind of play the wait and see game.
All right. One question I just came up with right now. I'm throwing it to both of you. Starting with you, Matt. Do you think this is a smart move, using something like The Chosen One, bringing it back to the prequels and adding that lore into the new sets of movies? Do you like that idea?
I do, because there's lots of stuff that was brought up in the prequel trilogy that doesn't line up with the original trilogy. A lot of an overwhelming amount of new ideas and new takes on stuff that, where did this prophecy thing come from? Where did the Chosen One thing come from? And just all this rich Jedi history slash mythology that is ripe to be explored because it wasn't explored. It was just put out there, deal with it, accept it, move on. And now we have a chance to explore it and be it's not shitty writing. There's something to it. So I think it's a good idea. And plus the whole point of Star Wars is it's cyclical. It's repeating events or themes over and over the course of decades. And I feel like, maybe it's a smart move to bring in these themes and these things that came up in the prequel trilogy to not necessarily a new audience, but an audience that, or presented to an old audience that can try to hopefully appreciate it if it's done well.
Gotcha. Chris, same question.
I mean, I can't really call it it is. Well, like I said, we'll see when the movie comes out and see where they go with it and everything. One thing I just thought of though, because I know you love to play the speculation game.
Oh yeah.
And this idea just jumped in my head because we never really, when they talk about the prophecy and the chosen one and everything like that, and the person who will bring balance to the force, they never really specifically say how he does it or how she does it. And what if the way that Obi-Wan Kenobi is the chosen one who brings balance to the force is by breaking his vows as the Jedi and having a child, and that child is Rey, and Rey is the one that brings balance to the force?
I don't want to hear that. Get that out of here. I hate that damn idea so much. Obi-Wan Kenobi did not have no damn child. The damn child did not have Rey. I don't want to hear Obi-Wan is your grandpa. Get out of here with that bullshit. I'm telling you, I don't want Rey to be. If Rey is going to be related to anybody, she's got to be Han. Oh no, wait. I said something to you, Matt, the other day, right? What I said it was Luke's kid, right?
Yeah.
As much as I don't want that to be. Oh man.
Or hear me out, because I brought this up to you the other day, that she's actually Unkar Plute's kid. And Unkar Plute is a changeling, like Zamwazel was in episode 2, and he's just been, he was an old Jedi, and he escapes the Purge by changing into whatever the fuck Unkar Plute is, and he's just been watching over Rey since then, just in disguise.
You would give your own daughter, 1/4 portion? That's messed up.
He's got to treat her fairly. He can't let her know, like, hey, you're magical.
No, not that magical, but my kid is like 1/4 portion. That's terrible. That's child abuse, man.
What is this, GameStop?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And fucking GameStop, boy. Woo. But says somebody who doesn't even play video games. Look at that, you know. Oh, Uncle Plades, Race Pops, you're a psycho. But I can't lie. I did like the idea of him being a changeling Jedi that escaped the Purge. That's a cool concept. I like that. I really did. But,
You heard it here first, folks. Uncle Plute is Ray's father.
I didn't say that. I said I like the idea of him being a rogue Jedi that ran away.
G-Show approved.
Oh, my God. All right, well, that would...
Headline of this episode. Ray says that Ray is Ankar Plute's daughter.
Better not. It's not going to happen. Matter of fact, I'm cutting out bits and pieces of this podcast. No, well, look, whoever Ray's parents is going to be, I think we find out in this one. But they said they're not going to go crazy about it. And that's cool. And yeah, the whole Chosen One thing, you both make some good points. I still don't like it because I just think Luke should know better. So if it's the writers saying Luke is stupid, shame on the writers. And if it's the writers just having a brain fart, well then shame on the damn writers because you're Lucasfilm and you know a lot better. But jumping off of that and jumping on to some other shit. Still Disney, but this week there's been this war. Now I seen recently, I think as recent as Thursday, they were trying to make amends here. But Disney is looking to, you know, break its ties with Netflix so they could start their own streaming service with their own shit. Now, to me, that's already called the Disney Channel. And there's a couple of them. There's the Disney Channel, there's Disney XD, and so on and so forth. We already got that. But it seems Disney wants to get into the streaming service and they're taking their stuff off of Netflix. The trouble was you're going to take the Marvel stuff and you're going to take the Lucasfilm stuff. You're going to take the Star Wars stuff. And if they ever put Indiana Jones up in there, they had young Indiana Jones up there for a while. Would all this be gone? What happens to shows like The Defenders, which is coming out this week? We're going to talk about that in a second. What happened to shows like Daredevil and all the Netflix Marvel stuff? Now I just saw something that Netflix is in hard negotiations to try to keep that there, but probably give up, like, let's say, the animated Disney stuff. So, Chris, I'm going to start with you. Do you think Disney is going to play ball with Netflix and say, okay, we'll leave, we'll still make these shows and put them on Netflix, like The Defenders and shit like that, the Marvel shows? Or do you think Disney's just going to say, no, bye-bye, and if you guys want your fair share of, you know, brand new content, you got to come over here?
I think they'll split it. It makes sense. And I'll explain why it makes sense. So, putting their Disney animated stuff on their own streaming service and everything like that, I get it. Disney's probably one of the few just up and coming streaming service, like they're just quitting the streaming. They're one of the few that could make it. People will go to a Disney streaming service independent of Netflix and Hulu and everything like that. There's a lot of places where, like, you know, CISO, I think, just wound up falling apart, like nobody was joining them and everything like that. But I think Disney is one of the few that will make it just because a lot of people love Disney movies. So if a Disney streaming service is the only place where you're going to see like a Moana and a Frozen and Aladdin and Lion King and all that stuff like that, especially the new live action movies coming out when they get their home releases, people will pay for it. But it wouldn't make sense to put a show like Daredevil on that streaming service because the tone is completely different from like the Disney. Like, I'm not gonna sit. Like, you know, if I'm a family person who's trying to watch a family Disney movie, I'm not gonna, you know, be what look for. Oh, here's Moana. Oh, here's Frozen. Oh, here's, you know, the live action Jungle Book. Oh, let me watch Daredevil break somebody's arm off. Like, let me watch the Punisher shoot somebody in the head.
Yeah, let me watch
perfectly together.
Daredevil and Elektra in the ring having uncopious amounts of sex.
Exactly. So I think they'll treat the Lucasfilm and the Marvel stuff as separately. They own it, but they don't really necessarily produce it in a sense. So they'll allow that to stay on Netflix, so Netflix can air the shows with like the darker themes and all that stuff. And then their streaming service will be their stuff, like the Pixar stuff, the recent Disney movies, the live action interpretations of like some of their older movies. Maybe even start putting some of their own shows up there, like iCarly. Was that Nick or Disney?
Nick, that's anyway. Nickelodeon.
Yeah, but like that kind of stuff, like the Wizards of Waverly Place or whatever the fuck other kiddie shows they have.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. It wouldn't make sense, even if they feel like they're gonna make more money by having their stuff exclusive, and more people might join to have their stuff exclusive. It makes more sense, tone wise, to treat them as separate entities.
Gotcha. You're mad. Chris pretty much like summed it up, but I'm gonna go to you anyway. What do you think? You think Disney's gonna be like fuck it and take it all, or agree with Chris and say there's got to be a 50-50?
Okay, so my understanding of it is that they would take all the stuff that they own that Netflix didn't produce. Like, there's no reason that they should take Daredevil or Luke Cage or anything like that, because Netflix produced it. Netflix put up some money for it. They made it. It's their property, even if Disney technically owns it. There's no reason to take that from them. I don't even know if they can on like a legal basis, because Netflix is the one that paid for it. But that's a whole lot of legal shit that I don't know. Like, I'm not a lawyer. And that kind of gets into a little bit more kind of a gray area stuff. Like, okay, so they own everything Star Wars. So that includes the Clone Wars series. Even though the Clone Wars series was created before Disney bought Lucasfilm. And Netflix is the one that put together and aired Season 6 of the Clone Wars. So are they going to take that? That's kind of messy.
Yeah.
That's a little weird. It's kind of a gray area. But and I think, from what I've heard, is the deal that Netflix and Disney are trying to come with right now are they're trying to keep all the Star Wars stuff. They're trying to keep the Marvel stuff. To me, that's not including Defenders or Clone Wars or the Netflix original stuff. That's like including like Civil War and Doctor Strange and Rogue One, any other future Marvel / Star Wars movies that come to Netflix. Because this deal isn't going to expire for another 2 years. So there's going to be more movies coming to Netflix that are Disney's. And, like, they're trying to say, like, hey, a lot of people watch Netflix. A lot of people watch these movies. A lot of people love Civil War. But are a lot of people going to go to your streaming service to watch Civil War? Let's just keep it on Netflix. You get some money. We get some money. We get to keep it. You get the money for it. That's my understanding of the deal. But yeah, like all Disney's original stuff, all the live action, like new movies, Beauty and the Beast and all that shit, like take it. They have no reason to keep it on Netflix because they're gonna do their own streaming service.
Wow, both of y'all made some really good points, man. I didn't think about none of that. I love it. I got nothing to say. Matt, what you're saying, it is a Netflix-produced show, the Marvel stuff there, Defenders and Luke Cage and Jessica Jones and the best one, Iron Fist. And yeah, that's absolutely true. That is probably what those negotiations that I just read about Thursday or Friday, that's got to be it. And they got to hammer that out. And then you made a great point with Clone Wars Season 6. Like, I completely forgot about that. And that show was made for Cartoon Network. And, Netflix, that is ugly. How do you fix that, Does Disney say, no, here, look, here's a buttload of money. We're giving you Robert Downey Jr. money. So here, have at it. And just give us back the ship. And the question becomes, do folks like us go and then now subscribe to the Disney thing? Or do folks like us just go to Best Buy and buy seasons 1 through 6 of, Clone Wars? Or Shit, did they? Let me, because I don't even know. Did they ever come out with like a DVD Blu-ray release of Daredevil or any of those shows?
Yeah.
Yeah, Daredevil has a release. I don't know if the other ones do yet.
Okay, so like, what if they do drop home release wise? Do you say, I'm just gonna go pick this shit up? Granted, though, and I can't lie, I love having the hard physical copies, right? Like, that's what I want. I want the DVD or the Blu-ray, but there's a certain convenience of just pressing a button and without having to get up and put the disc into your system and watch it. That just the convenience of having it ready to go. Would I want to pay another $7.99 to $10.99? I don't know.
I have no desire to buy the Netflix original shows on DVD or Blu-ray because like they're Netflix original. They're always going to be there. No matter. I feel like no matter how this deal goes down between them, the Marvel, like the Netflix produced Marvel stuff is always going to be there. Like I don't think they're going to take that because why would they? It's barely theirs. It's theirs like in name only. You don't see the big Disney logo come over each episode before the episode begins. You see Netflix.
That's true.
Netflix produced it.
That's true.
And yeah, so I mean, why would I buy that if it's always going to be there? But like other shows, like the Clone Wars, where or like House, for example, where it's just licensed by Netflix for a certain period of time. The license expires and it comes off Netflix. They don't renew it. Clone Wars was gone for a couple months. It's back on now, thankfully. Those ones to me are worth buying. And like I have no intention of paying for a Disney streaming service because I don't really watch Disney shit. I'm for damn sure going to buy every Star Wars movie that comes out. And if I'll buy every Marvel movie that comes out if I can get it for a decent price.
Right.
So like, would I pay another $9 to $17 a month for something that I could just buy on my own, I guess?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Chris, what about you? I mean, do you feel the need to stream Moana constantly, or would you rather just get the Blu-ray?
I'd stream it. Like, I'm not gonna lie. If Disney, like I said, we've had this discussion where it's like I'm not gonna buy every new streaming service that comes out. But if Disney did their own one, and the only way to get Disney movies was to subscribe to that one, I would. I'm not gonna lie. Like I would do that to be able to watch some of my favorite Disney movies and all that. But that's just it's like I'm in opposition to Matt. I am a Disney fan. I grew up on those movies. They were a big part of my childhood. I love them. So, I would subscribe to the service. But I also agree with Matt. So, like, even putting, like I was saying before, even putting the issues of who owns what aside, I really just don't think Disney, even if Disney had legal rights to claim, like, the Defenders and Iron Fist and everything like that, I just think because of the content that's on there and how more mature and adult it is and everything, that it's just like, this doesn't fit with our family-friendly theme. So we'll just let Netflix have it.
Look, man, I love both of your points. Seriously, that was just, again, like I got nothing. Like you, Chris, I grew up with the Disney stuff. Very hit or miss for me, but because I got a daughter, she likes the Disney stuff. I'm trying to wane her away from that and get her into more anime, and we'll all be good and better for it. But depending on what Disney does and what they provide on that service, let's say you can only get like the Jungle Book or the Lion King, the live action shit. I like the Jungle Book a lot. I don't know if I'm going to ever buy it, but Netflix has it on there. So if I ever want to watch it, I just plop it on. So that's a convenience. If Disney's doing that and they do that with, let's say, the Lion King, which is one of my favorite Disney films, and then when that live action one drops, it's like, shit, man, do I buy it or not? For instance, I don't own Beauty and the Beast. I personally didn't care for it, but the ladies loved it. They loved it. I don't know if that's going to come on Netflix now that this is all going on, but neither here nor there. You know what is coming on Netflix this week coming? The Defenders. I cannot fucking wait for this. To be honest with you, I'm a little upset at myself because I did want to go back and watch what do we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons of shows from 2 seasons of Daredevils, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and of course the immortal Iron Fist. I wanted to go back and rewatch the whole damn thing. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen now. So I might just go back and watch Daredevil Season 2 because that shit is hardcore. But yeah, man, it's exciting. It's very exciting, especially because even though we got nothing in terms of this week, last week they dropped the Voltron. I watched that. I was upset because it was only 7 episodes. They played me.
I started getting Castlevania flashbacks.
Yeah, dude, for real, right? And that's the thing. Netflix right now is just on a fucking roll with their original shit. Castlevania was fucking dope. Voltron, I didn't even know Season 3 was dropping last Friday. My daughter was like, Dad, we have to watch all of Voltron because Season 3 is tomorrow. I'm like, what? So yeah, Thursday after work, I started a marathon from episode 5 of Season 1 all the way to the end of Season 2. Fucking in love with it. Came home Friday from work, ready to rock and roll. Got 7 episodes and was like, what's going on? You gotta wait till October. In that aspect, I'm happy because not only do I get Voltron in October, but then I get Stranger Things Season 2. So that works for me. I'm good. But Defenders is this week. I cannot wait to see it. Matt, are you excited as I am for Defenders? And are you even more excited seeing Iron Fist back on the screen?
Defenders is going to be good. I keep forgetting that it's coming out, so it's just got so much of the shit to go on. But yeah, I'll probably be watching it over the course of next week after it drops. Chances are I'll be done with it by the we record our next podcast, because I feel like we'll probably all have to be done with it by then to talk about it.
That means my next Saturday is going to consist of nothing but the Defenders. Crap. Chris, Sigourney Weaver's joining the cast. So yeah, you can't go wrong when you get Sigourney Weaver up in there. And she looks like she's playing a badass rival to I forget her name, the old woman from the Hand.
Madame Gao?
Madame Gao, thank you. Woohoo! What's your excitement levels for Iron Fist? Stop the shit. Stop.
I'm super excited about the Defenders. No, as much as a joke about it, I actually didn't hate Iron Fist as much as everyone else seems to. I actually kind of enjoyed it a little bit, but that's a side topic. I'm super looking forward to this. Honestly, I don't see myself going to bed Friday night. I'm probably going to get home straight from work and just binge the whole thing till 5 o'clock. That's every single one of these series that has come out. I have watched them until I literally couldn't keep my eyes open.
Wow.
If I didn't finish them the first night, it was like I would go to sleep for till it hurt to keep my eyes open. Then I would go to sleep, wake up, right back on it. There has not been a single one of these shows, these Netflix Defender shows that have come out that I didn't finish by that Saturday after they released.
Damn.
So I don't see Defenders being any different. I'm probably going to come straight home. I'll probably buy a couple of Red Bulls. I fully into, like Matt said, I'm fully ready to be able to discuss the entire season by the time we record the next podcast next Sunday. I'm going to have watched everything.
Oh, well, good. Then it gives me something to do. I'm gonna take that time and do the same thing. Well, wait a minute. Oh, I'm gonna have to have a long conversation with the wife because I think she say, I'm gonna go to the mall next Saturday. You ain't going nowhere. I'll watch it by myself. I don't care. Oh yeah, no, I'm super excited. I cannot freaking wait. Honestly, I think I'm gonna watch Daredevil Season 2 over the course of this week, only because Elektra seems to be the big thing in the Defenders, and I can't wait for that. So, man, it's going to be good to see my homegirl Colleen Wing back on the Defenders. If you say anything, Chris, about Game of Thrones, I'm going to punch you in the fucking face. But yeah, so I'm excited. Speaking of Game of Thrones, real quick, I just want to... Chris, how many episodes are left?
God, I think it's supposed to be 8 episodes. This is so it's 5, 6, 7, 8, so 4.
4 episodes? Okay, so I got time. All right. For some reason, somebody was like, there's only 2 episodes left. I'm like, what? Shit. All right, get on it.
Well, I'm up in it because I haven't actually looked it up, but I'm hearing there was... First, I was under the impression there's only 7 episodes this season. Then somebody told me there was 8. So if there is only 8 episodes, then there's 4 more left. If there's only 7 episodes, then there's 3 more left.
All right.
Because we're going to do 5, 6, 7.
All right, well, we got time for that. Well, I'll just keep binge watching Defenders and Iron Fist until that last episode comes on. I'll be happy. Matter of fact, I just started watching. I just watched this morning, and I know I'm real late to the game, and I'm throwing this around before I wrap up. I just watched the first episode of Ash versus Evil Dead, and wow.
First time?
For the
Ever?
first time ever. I watched it this morning. Dude, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And if that's the tone the show keeps throughout, oh, man. Oh, God, I cannot wait. But I loved it.
You were in for a bumpy ride.
Really? Come on, man.
No, I mean in a good way.
Oh, okay, in that case. Well, what I really loved about it was they got me with some of the scares like the original Evil Dead did. The comedy to me was on point. Bruce Campbell was crushing it. But I really loved the whole idea. It was like, man, 30 years ago this shit happened. I thought I took care of it. And then the reason for it to all start up again, I was like, yeah, that makes so much sense. I loved it. So, yeah, I totally can't wait. Chris, you watched that show?
I did watch the first episode, and I was really interested in it, but it's just like one of those things where I had a lot of shows up in the air at the same time.
Yeah.
And it kind of fell to the wayside.
I could see that. I totally see that happening. But, no, I'm going in. I'm going to watch all of it. I loved it. So, well, yeah.
It should be coming out sometime soon.
Season 3?
Season 2 should be coming out to Blu-ray.
Oh, Blu-ray, okay. That's good. That's good news, too. That's good
Season
news.
3, I think, is going to be pushed back for a little while. I think it's so as not to compete with Stranger Things, but I don't know. That's just what I heard.
That makes sense. I mean, but here's the thing with Stranger Things: you could just binge watch it over the course of like Chris does. I come home from work and I'm watching it until my eyes fall out. Whereas,
yeah, and Ash vs. Evil Dead is an episodic thing, so I think I don't know what their rationale is there, but.
Well, hopefully it's not contract negotiations and they keep it going. Because, like I said, man, that first episode was just that was like pitch perfect in my book. That's exactly what I was expecting, exactly what I was hoping for, and exactly what I got in terms of gore, horror, and just overall comedy. It was just perfect. And it had a perfect blend of R rating. Like, it was just so good. Like, the perfect amount of curses, a funky sex scene. I was like, yes, this is fucking good. Like, I'm totally zoned in. I can't wait. But hey, that'll do it for this particular episode of the G Show podcast of the Geek Out. I want to thank you guys for joining me, Matt. Man, thanks for hanging out and geeking out with us.
Of course. Are you disappointed?
What? I was not. I was only with the Kratos thing and maybe the Bumblebee tune-up, but that's okay. That's all right. I expected that. Chris, thank you for hanging and geeking out with us, man.
Of course.
And I swear, I'm not lying. The first time we all come together and do one live together in the same room, y'all both get hit with a chair. I am G1. This is the Geek Out episode 20. You guys have a good weekend. Stay safe.